to the start of the proper stream, to the intro. When we properly get ourselves underway, shouldn't be too long because we've got a full grid and we're pretty much raring to go. I just need to get the stream sorted, and then after that we'll be absolutely spiffing and on our way to get going for what I hope to be an absolutely incredible night, because I come into the lobby and I see 20 drivers on the grid, and that it brings a smile. It brings a smile. I love seeing a nice full grid for the race. Lewis Keaton is in. Welcome everyone. It's a pleasure to have even people from other leagues coming in to say hello and enjoying the stream, which is always good. It's a pleasure to have you in, and yeah, it's nice, definitely nice. I think we are readying up in just a second. Oh, indeed, right now. Ooh, full grid indeed. Taylor and Kiernan in. Corey definitely washed up, indeed. And well, I think with a lot of us here, I can officially say hello and welcome, ladies and gentlemen, back to APPF1. You join me for round number 4 of the Sunday Night Sprint Championship. We're now entering the closing stages of what has so far proven to be a very close, competitive and exciting season of racing, as we always get. Tonight we travel to 2 tracks that in the past have given absolutely incredible showcases, whether that be on-track battles, strategical decisions or changeable conditions. We head then first to the streets of Marina Bay for the Singaporean Grand Prix, a track known for its physicality and difficulty. Drivers will need 100% focus for the entire 25% race. After, we travel across the world to the South American continent and to Sao Paulo for the Brazilian Grand Prix. Interlagos has proven its calibre both in its tense real-life finales and its incredible showcases whenever it's on the APPF1 calendar. Watch out for the reverse grid race, it's sure to be one to remember. With that out of the way, I am your commentator for this evening's racing, Zach Sweeney, so buckle up because round number 4 is about to begin. We jump ourselves straight in to no pressure for my first commentary. I'm absolutely quaking. But first up, we head to a one-shot qualifying in the at the Singaporean circuit, the street circuit. I believe first debuted around about 2007, 2008, and has gone through a number of changes, little tweaks of such as the sort of slingshot chicane before you go under the bridge and into the hairpin. But overall, it's an incredible circuit, a really nice sort of viewing-wise in terms of the actual aesthetic of the circuit. Very nice to look at. Predictions, no one knows, ever. You can never predict these races. But first we go then into a one-shot qualifying. We're going to go on board with Aces versus Kings, a man who's definitely proven his calibre in qualifying. Looking for that black box in towards turn 1. You want to go down to around about 4th, 3rd gear, just really chuck it in. Through turn 2, just make it as tight as one as you can. Through in towards turn 3, again, get as close to that curb as you can. Down towards turn number 5, look for that black box. Black boxes are your best friend around here. Down to 4th gear preferably. Clip the inside curb. Try and carry as much speed as you can all the way through turn 7 and down towards the braking zone of turn 8. Smack on the brakes just as you get past the 100 board. Into 3rd gear, you can carry so much speed. Use the track on the exit. Again, that black box, 2nd gear. Don't hit that inside curb. Use the track on the exit. Bring it back to the right-hand side. At the moment, it's Koru and Ghost having a straight-up fight for pole position at the front. We're going to jump to that. We'll go on board with Koru, a man again in the other Williams who has done an incredible job. And last time we were here in Singapore, definitely showed his mettle through down in the slingshot chicane in towards the hairpin. Flick it right, brake as soon as you're in a straight line. This is a very, very spicy fight for pole. We've got a good 4 or 5 people all within this little battle going on. Koru, Davler and Ghost, your top 3. Powson P4, Vardy at P5. Koru, Ghost and Davler swapping positions all the way through. Purple to middle sector goes Koru. In towards this chicane. Again, you just got to chuck it in 3rd gear. Hook this inside curve through the 2nd bit. Powers up to P5. They're fluctuating so much, but Koru's hit the wall. He might have damaged his front wing and could have in fact lost pole position. He's down to 4th. Got it back up to 3rd. Ghost is looking good for pole position then. Powers up into P3 and Alpine 2-3. As it stands, another tap to the wall. This could have cost Koru pole. We go through the final corner for the one-shot quali, and Koru's invalidated his lap. Ghost gets pole, a 36.842 with Koru through the final corner. That wing damage definitely costing him big time. He invalidated through the final corner. So too did Davler, in fact. So it's an AP and Ghost front row. The championship leader of Ghost by 12 points, 99 points so far. in this season and is looking good for his second title. AP on the front row once again. It's becoming pretty familiar to him now. AP is looking very, very quick indeed, especially on this new game. Really just nailing his strengths for sure. The new driving model of this game. But after a one-shot qualifying, a very close and tense one-shot qualifying, it is Ghost that takes pole position in the Aston Martin. 1:36.842. AP rounds off the front row of the grid with a 37.249, with Sumo and Vardy rounding off 3 and 4. Patterson will start P5 with Aces P6. MX, a disappointing qualifying, but he always goes forward in the race. He starts P7. Taylor Hammers P8 with Jackalacco and Blair rounding off the top 10. Hephaestus P11 with Gamer P12. Sam Patterson P13 with tier 14th. Scott rounds off in P15. The reigning champion, remember, could not get a good enough lap in. It's Koru and Davila and KTFO along with Saki Ben and Starry that will round off the grid. They were also unable to put a time in, and will start the race at the back. But a long race, 15 laps of a very long circuit. I think it's only second to Spa. Very close in terms of distance. In corners, Singapore has more, but overall distance, Spa definitely is the most. I think it's something like 7.004 kilometers, just over the limit. But I think the FIA let it slide because it's Spa, and you cannot have a Formula 1 calendar without Spa. So now loading into the race, 5 seconds, no formation lap. We go straight to the lights because of a reported bug, so we don't want to chance it. So what we're going to do is we're going to be straight onto the lights. Here we go. 3 lights, 4 lights, 5 red lights ahead of the Singapore Grand Prix. Round number 4 is underway, and Palves gets a pretty shaky start. The Aston Martin of Vardy, though, gets away very well. There's a McLaren spinning off in the back. That's KTFO already out side by side in towards turn 1. Palves goes for it, but backs out. The AlphaTauri of Sumo going side by side. A VSC already, and we couldn't even get through 2 corners worth of racing. A full safety car now already brought out. It's Ghost from Palves, Sumo, Vardy, and MX your top 5. So MX making up a couple of positions off the start as well. Jackalacco, a 5-second penalty for severe collision. But KTFO and Saki Ben both out of this race on the first couple of corners. Just couldn't get away well. Did the McLaren, just went sideways. I think may have collected the Ferrari. And then, of course, that sent him spinning around, which is a shame. So it's bad to see. Hello, Huck. Welcome in. Pleasure to have you, as always. But we're under safety car conditions. This could be interesting because the medium tyre could probably maybe at a stretch go to the end. The hard definitely. So is anyone going to come in, or are they just going to stick to their normal predicted strategy and their ideal strategy they had at the start? Because of course under the safety car conditions, everyone's going slow. Of course everyone's bunched up because it's the start of the race. So you are going to drop back to the back of the grid, but you won't have to make that additional pit stop later on. I mean, it's very early, so I'm going to imagine most people will just stick to it and not chance it, but we've seen stranger things happen at Singapore. But the safety car well and truly out. It shouldn't be out for too long because we're already very much bunched up, provided no one pits. A lot of penalties though, look at that. The entire tower littered with penalties. Patterson 5 seconds, Aces 5, Sam Patterson 10, Gamer 10, Jackalacco 5 and Blair 5 also. A lot of penalties then. Not the most ideal start to the night for these guys. Again, KTFO and Saki Ben just colliding off the start. Very 2017 Verstappen, Vettel and Raikkonen S. Just got pinched. Ghost though into the pit lane. So too is Palves. Sumo coming in. Hephaestus stays out. He'll take the lead. Taylor Hammers from 9th on the grid to 2nd. But yeah, a lot of people, as you can see, cascading their way into the pit lane. This could get messy because of the double stack that's going to need to have. They're going to have at Aston Martin, and a lot of teams could really shake up the order. AP, I think they're all going to resume. In fact, Aces is going to lose out quite a lot of it because of this. So too is Vardy. He's going to come up behind MX in this entire train of cars. Okay, that is a lot of emojis, indeed. But lap 2 of 15, still under the safety car. Hephaestus then inherits the race lead. Taylor Hammers 2nd with Sam in P3, Blair P4. Ghost rounds off the top 5, though he's already made his pit stop. Look, pretty much the entire grid, bar 4 people, come into the pit lane. So this is either going to be an incredible strategy from a lot of the grid, or from a minority of the grid, or a very poor one. Only 3 people deviating from the medium tyre. That is Scott, Tyr and Corey going for the soft and the hard respectively. Everyone else going for the medium, confident that under the safety car they can hold on to those tyres for a little longer and then take them to the end. Hephaestus, though, a 5-second time penalty for a collision with Taylor Hammers. That's under the safety car, the Aston Martin safety car. The first time I believe we've seen it in APPF1. It's a very nice car, and under the lights the sort of metallic green really comes out nicely. I do quite like the, I think it's the DBX. Unfortunately, not unfortunately, it's a very nice car, but unfortunately for Taylor Hammers and Hephaestus, they've come together, and maybe the Red Bull has got a bit of damage. He does indeed. That front right end plate does not look particularly nice. He's going to lose a lot of aerodynamic grip because of that, and both of them might have to come in to the pit lane. Through the turn, I believe turn 13 and 14, the chicane. And you can see Taylor Hammers not happy. Another bit of contact that could give both of them another penalty, and it probably will, and indeed it has. Hephaestus another 5 seconds, Taylor another 5 seconds. This is 100% going to get looked at by the stewards post-race. The entirety of the top 4 all with penalties. And then, yeah, Gamers and Koru at the back. I think a lot of people served theirs under the safety car, and probably would have been a good idea to do so. That's why a lot of people probably did come in. Safety car is going to stay out one more lap, but in comes Taylor. Hephaestus stays out. Taylor's going to serve his penalty. And I believe Blair's going to get himself on to the podium. Indeed it is. Ghost followed by Paus. This is going to be interesting for the provisional race lead. Of course, Ghost, Paus and Sumo, the provisional 1, 2, 3 with MX just behind. It's going to be very interesting for them because they're going to have to really try. They're going to have to get their way through the top 3, the traffic, and that can open up the door for AP and Sumo and MX to all come through. If there's any contact or anything, that could really fluctuate the trajectory of this race, because Ghost looks very quick, so too does AP, and we know how quick Ghost is when he's in his zone and just being so consistent. He does not bottle it under pressure often. He does not bottle it under pressure very often, does Ghost. I mean, I've raced him in an entire second stint at Interlagos. I've been within a second of him, just unable to get quite close enough, but still enough to put the pressure on. Not a squab, not a lock-up, not a loss of traction from the man. He is just ridiculously consistent, ridiculously quick, and he knows his way around the circuit. And at the moment leads the championship by 12 points. That's 12 positions. And that's quite a lot in this close point system. It could, honestly, it's that 12 points gone. If he finishes last and Vardy wins, that's gone. That is then straight away advantage Vardy. But it's still a nice buffer to have. You can't get complacent. And his performances all season long. We're on to round 4 now. The 6 races we've had so far, he's just been on it. Absolutely on it. Every single race. And well, that's how it goes sometimes, because yeah, domination does happen, and Ghost is definitely the master at that. You've got to be on top of your game to be able to dominate. Safety car is in this lap. Hephaestus will lead the cars round and over the line. Sam Patterson will be right behind him. Blair rounds off the top 3. Through the turn 13 and 14 chicane. Yeah, from out, just trying to warm up his tyres, weaving around left to right, getting some friction in. You can see taking some very wide lines left and right. He's going to be able to control the field. He becomes the effective safety car as soon as that safety car light turns off, and he's bottled it already. We go back on the green flag racing. He's managed to catch out Patterson and Blair, who are going to be very close off the green flag. In fact, Blair's gone sideways. Ghost with an incredible restart, goes side by side with them, gets ahead. There's a big crash to the back. That's the Aston Martin of Vardy, his teammate. Around the outside goes Blair, though, hangs on to P3. Ghost has to tuck him behind. AP didn't get off to the best restart. He's 7/10 back, but for the most part everyone's kept it clean. Yeah, Gamer getting past Taylor Hammers in towards turn 1 for P16. Taylor's going to try and come back at him, though, mounts the curb, and we go back to the front. Hephaestus leads from Patterson, Blair, Ghost and Paus, your top 5. Paus needs to get on it, though. They've managed to get through turn 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6 cleanly. They come in towards the first proper braking zone of the lap. They're all on the mediums, they're all on the same strategy, and they just need to try and pick their way through. Singapore, a very difficult very difficult circuit to overtake, and you just need to be on it. The dirty air is extremely prevalent. You feel it because you rely so much on that aerodynamic grip that you're given by the front and rear wings, that as soon as that air is disrupted slightly, it really puts you off. Blair, though, with his soft compound tyres, his fresh soft compound tyres that will still be relatively fresh from the start of the race, he's managed to close the gap to Sam Patterson just a little bit, and is eking away at that gap, slowly putting more and more pressure on Hephaestus, though managing to control the restart fairly well. 8 tenths is the gap between himself and Patterson. Don't forget, all of the top 3 are yet to pit, and they all do have penalties, so this entire grid at the moment always provisional until the checkered flag, but more so, and indeed it is, yeah, surprise surprise, it is indeed a video game. But through the final chicane, Blair goes sideways again. He's caught out Ghost slightly. This is going to allow Palps to get right onto the back of him through the penultimate corner. Could we see a change of the net race lead? Palps undist is off the circuit, and that could be a warning or two. 41.142 for Hephaestus. He sets the fastest lap as we come on to lap 5 of 15, a third of the way through. And yeah, Gamer quickly beats that, a 40.972. No DRS, of course, until next lap. But that spin of Blair allowed Ghost and Palps to get ahead scot-free, pretty free. And no difficulty in that overtake, apart from Ghost having to slam on his anchors, and that definitely did give him a heart in the mouth moment. And Palps allowed to close up. They haven't quite got the pace to stay with the top 2. They're just hanging back. They know they're quick enough, and of course they know that provisionally they are on the front 2 spaces. There's a bit of kerfuffle going on further back. This is Patterson on the back of Scott, whose tyres will be feeling a little bit worse for wear in a couple of laps time. He will have to pit again. If the safety car can come out once, no reason why it can't do it again. Yellow flags to the first sector. That's Corey round, I believe, for the second time. Side by side go Jackalaco and Tyr into the top 10 in the Haas. At least he's flying the colours well for at least one side of the garage. Back to the front, Hephaestus versus Patterson. Both yet to pit, both with penalties, but at the moment both occupy the top 2 steps of the podium. Sam Patterson, though, using a lot of ERS. Through the chicane, through the left, over the curb, really helps him to hook it up and close that gap. You can see practically pushing him as they go under the bridge there. And towards, again, another chicane. A lot of chicanes at Singapore. You really go right, left, left and right quite a lot. In towards the penultimate corner, just got to chuck it in and hope. Hephaestus makes a little bit of a mistake, though. We could see a change of the race lead. Patterson gets a good launch, uses his ERS, pulls out to the left-hand side in towards turn number 1. Heavy on the brakes. Is Hephaestus going to go around the outside? No. He's going to set up the switcheroo. Can he come back at him in towards turn 3? No, he can't. And another safety car is in effect, because Taylor Hammers has had a DNF. And he's maybe, I believe, had a spin on the exit of this final chicane. Let's have a look. Riding on board with Blair here. Over the curb, yeah, into the wall and out of this race. That's 3 DNFs. And, well, the safety car out once more. Lap 6 of 15. And this could play well into the hands of Sam Patterson and Hephaestus. Of course, the entire grid is bunched up, but they're not going to lose as much time, and they could still be in this race. It's going to play nicely for the likes of Scott and even Corey, because he's going to be able to close back up. He's going to have the mediums to the end, comfortable mediums to the end. He's going to come up P15, but around about a third of the way through this race. Sam Patterson could not have made that move at a more critical time, because literally just after he'd done it, the yellow flags were out and he was unable to overtake. Yeah, hopefully we're not under the safety car for too long. 3 DNFs so far. Taylor Hammers, KTFO, Saka Ben, your top 10 as it stands. Patterson at P1. Hephaestus P2 goes 3rd, rounding off the podium. AP and P4 with Sumo rounding off the top 5. MX P6, Scott P7 with Patterson P8. Aces and Tyr round off the top 10. Jackalaco P11, Dabbler P12, Starry P13, Gamer P14, with Corey P15. Vardy and Blair round off the grid in 16th and 17th. They're a little bit further back, but under the safety car will be able to close up by quite a little bit. As they go round again. Sam Patterson stays out once more. Hephaestus, though, takes this opportunity and comes in. In towards the box. What tyres is he going to go for? He's going for hards. This is awkward starting on those mediums. He's going to have to go for the white walls. He's going to have to serve his penalty. Tyr also comes in. And what tyres are he going to go on to? Whacking on those hard compound tyres, gets held by the Haas as he comes through, so even more time lost for her faceless there. Tier whacking on a set of softs to the end, possibly. I'm not entirely sure. Yeah, game at a 3-second penalty for multiple warnings under the safety car. He must have cut the track as he come into the pit lane. Whacking on some soft compound tyres for Yeah Gamer, and a new front wing indeed. Which does help having a front wing that is intact. Goes a long way for sure. Go through the hairpin, you can see Patterson really pushing Bird Bylander to the limit of his safety car. He's going as quick as he can in that DBX, but compared to the Formula 1 cars, it's not much at all. You can see they're just chilling, but Bird's on the limit and he's pushing as close to the limit as hard as he can. Under the safety car then, should be maybe 1 or 2 more laps at the most, then we'll be back on the green. So hopefully we can be green once more. We don't like being under the safety car. That happens quite a lot at circuits like Spa and here because they're long laps. So it takes a while. And of course with the longer lap you get less laps on the race counter. So, well, particularly with Spa. Is Patterson going to come in this lap? No, he's not. He's going to stay out again. He's committing to this strategy. It's an unorthodox one. But I think he maybe just wants the satisfaction of leading a race for a while. Doesn't want it to end. It feels a bit too surreal for him. Waiting still for Gamer at the back. He's going to have to join the back of the safety car queue. And we'll be going green, I believe, at the start of lap 9. At the least, or at the soonest. At the latest, it should be lap 10. But I hope it's lap 9. On your own, it's definitely hard to think of things to talk about under the safety car because there's not a lot in the way of action going on. But at the moment, it will be Ghost extending his championship lead by a further, 13 points up to 25. Palps is, I believe, around about 5th in the championship. He's a good 20 odd points behind Ghost in the standings. So after winning the first round and I believe the feature race of the second round, didn't have the best night last time out at Spa. Wasn't his best night in the world by any means. He's looking to bounce back and at the moment is on the podium. But for Vardy, I mean, he had a tough start to the season both in Tier 1 and the Sprint Championship. But he's sort of found his feet. I mean, he's down in P15 at the moment. We get that, of course. However, his qualifying and he's second in the championship. Despite this not being his necessarily prime. On F1 2020 he was an alien and unmatchable. And he's got to come on to 2021, a bit tentative, but he's still P2 in the standings because of his insane sprint. Well, the reverse grid, they're both sprint races, but the reverse grid sprint is where he really shines. He just gets a good start, overtakes the field, slices through it like it's a hot knife through butter, and just goes and controls it. And that's just how he does things. That's how he's done so well. He's never won a sprint championship. He's won the Tier 1 championship. Never a sprint. He's always been runner-up. Has Vardy. I believe in every season he's been runner-up. Second to Ghost in the Williams. Second to Ted in the Red Bull. And then second to Scott when Scott won the championship last time out as well. Which is a shame. Because I definitely think he's probably one of the most deserving people of a championship. But I believe we haven't got all 3. Ted is not in this race. So we've got 2 of the 3 championships. You've got Ghost and Scott, Season 1 and 3. Missing the Season 2 champion though. Safety car though is in this lap. Sam Patterson will lead the grid round. He's going to weave around, get some temperature into those medium compound tyres. Just try and warm them up, make sure they're nice and grippy off the start so he doesn't lose the place to Ghost straight away. Red Mylander will pull himself into the pit lane, and that's when Sam Patterson can dictate when to go. You can see already using his ERS, Tier's been given a 5-second time penalty. You can see the McLaren wants to go, so too does the Aston Martin with green once more. Ghost gets an incredible restart, not quite enough to put the pressure on Sam Patterson in towards turn 1. Further back there's Scott trying to get past MX. The Mercedes of Patterson sends one to the inside, jumps over the curb, and I think he's lucky that he didn't get worse off. In fact, he is worse off. He's spun round and he's tumbling down the order, down to P16, could even be P17 as he rejoins. Indeed it is. Aces gets past Scott in towards turn at number 5. The two tier 1 teammates definitely not given anything in the sprint. This is now Jack Alacco running side by side with Scott down the straight. It'll be the right hand side, it'll be the outside for the next braking zone. Can he go for it? Scott brakes very late, bit of a lock up in front, he goes in deep. Jack Alacco is going to put the pressure on, look to the right hand side, he's going to back out though, tuck right back in. Scott still under an absolute immense amount of pressure. Corey getting himself into the top 11, and oh my god, there's a big crash. Gamer has just ran Blair into the wall. He's without a front wing through turn number 9. No full course yellow, but Gamer, it looked to me as if he just drove straight, went over that curb and just put him in the wall. No malice, I'm sure, intended. Aces though with a good restart, getting right back into that rhythm quickly and looking to get himself into the top 5. He's on the back of MX, who's not an easy driver to get past by any means, and when you do, it's often met with a little bit of contact. Jack Alacco again can't go for the move on Scott. In fact, he can, because Scott goes in deep. The AlphaTauri goes underneath him. It's the outside, but it quickly turns to the inside. Davila though sending it to the left hand side, going to say thank you very much, dances his car around the outside. Still side by side, we've got yellow flags still. Patterson has gone round again. The Alpine though, Davila, an incredible move, because the AlphaTauri sort of backed out, didn't want to go for the move, and Davila saw the space on the inside and just said, I'm going to fill that, I'm going to take it. This is now a change for the race lead, potentially. Patterson having to defend from Ghost in towards turn 1. Ghost can't quite find a way through, and Palv's dropping back a little bit, unable really to match the Aston Martin. But if anything arises, he's going to be the one to take it. Patterson out of this race. Jack Alacco and Gamer into the pit lane, maybe suffering a bit of damage. This is Ghost though. He's got a bunch of DRS in the battery. He's not using it down this straight. He's waiting for DRS maybe. Very equal in terms of ERS, both for the front runners. AP though being brought right back into the fight for the race lead because of his consistency and the fact that Ghost is being held up slightly by Patterson in front. This is Corey getting himself into the top 9. Starry's going to come back at him though, sends it up the inside, jumps the curb, makes contact with the Red Bull, going to run side by side with him though. Still, he doesn't back out. Corey's going to come right back at him. The Haas of Tier wants a piece of the cake, and he's going to come. This is about 5 cars all within around about a second. They're going to be 3 abreast in towards the loop. Surely not going to work. Corey gets the better of it into the top 8. Scott under a world of pressure. Tier under pressure from the Mercedes of Starry, who's been absolutely mugged, but still running an incredible race. Breaks a bit too late, makes contact with a Haas, and he's buried himself in the wall, still making contact all the way through. Vardy comes around the outside. He might be able to get 2 in 1. 2 cars in just as many corners if he goes to the outside. Is he going to brake late enough? No, he's going to say, well, you can go in deep, lock the 2 front tyres, and I'll go right underneath you and get myself back into the top 10. But a very, very chaotic couple of corners there. That was very weird indeed. Not how a lot of people would have particularly wanted that to go. We jump back towards the fight for the front though, and DRS is enabled. The top 3 separated by around about 1.2 seconds. Tier is out of this race. Hopefully not a full course yellow. I don't think it will be. He's under the bridge, he's through that chicane and has just buried it in the wall, so that adds to another DNF. That's now up to 5 DNFs in this race. Ghost though with DRS, with ERS. Sam Patterson struggling in terms of the battery deployment. Here comes Ghost to the right hand side, blitzes past ahead before the corner, and that could have sealed the deal for Ghost to win this race, because Palv still needs to find a way through. They both track extend. Patterson a 3-second time penalty for multiple warnings, and you could have seen that from a mile away. Ace has been right on the back of this train for the top 5. You can see Ghost, Patterson, Palv, Sumo and MX all in this very conga line-esque train, single file pretty much the entire way round. Aces though wants to get himself inside the top 5, wants to find a way through on MX, but just can't pick the moment, can't find the gap, can't find the opening in towards the hairpin. Can he send the move? Looks to the left hand side, just going to go and set up a nice exit. MX goes in a little bit too deep. Ace is going to have the DRS, he's going to have that drag reduction system using all of his ERS. MX is going to be vulnerable in towards this right hander. Ace is there with an absolute send down the inside, first class. He's running side by side contact with the wall for MX, but what a move from Ace. Just did not hesitate, waited, pulled to the right hand side, got it stopped, and a big send MX just ran the track to the outside a little bit too much, dumped the barrier, and I think he may have a bit of wing damage, but Aces, a big old send to the inside, just absolutely launched it under brakes, managed to get it stopped, and is still carrying on scot-free into the top 5. Will soon be the top 4 because Patterson has to make his pit stop in this race, and Aces wants that podium. Himself and Sumo fought over the race lead on 2 occasions this time last week, and they're going to be fighting over the final podium place this time. This time around, 2.4 seconds Ghost leads from Paus, who might be struggling to hang on to that because again he's got 2 absolute tyrants chasing after him. Sumo and Aces, when things go right for them, are some of the toppest caliber drivers you can ask for. Definitely going to get looked at by the stewards. I'm sure MX is not going to be happy about that one, but I saw nothing particularly wrong with it. Jackalacco fastest lap, a 38.9, double front lockup for Sumo, and another spin for Scott through the chicane, just under traction, couldn't get going. Yeah, Gamer another 3 second time penalty. MX though still in the top 5. Corey though closing, because remember he's got the freshest tyres of the bunch. He could even be looking good for a top 5, and what a drive that would be from the back of the grid. Aces though, he wants that podium. Sumo wants that P2, he's going to be chasing after it with sheer determination. Aces though, bit of a scram out of the hairpin there. MX might be able to come back at him. He's going to try and replicate the move to the right hand side, finds the gap, under brakes. Who's going to be more committed? The Williams tries it around the outside, but MX squeezes him out just as he did to Aces did to him a lap previously, and back in front goes MX. He does not have it at all, just ran the track to the outside, took the race line and forced Aces to eventually back out. Big moment for those two. A bit of on-track rivalry maybe. If you don't particularly, if you're not particularly on the fond side of MX, he definitely does give you a bit of a squeeze here and there. Yellow flash reset for 2. Yeah, Gamer going for another spin in this race. Sumo still on the back of Paus. MX and Aces though through that fight and is almost dropped themselves out of that 1 second range, and oh no, Aces has dropped it on the curb. Corey inherits P5. Aces tumbling down the order, could have been a podium, could have at least been a top 4, but he dropped it on the curb, under brakes, locked the rears, and with the unsettled weight distribution of the car found himself spinning, settles into P7 as a Mercedes of Starry has gone round. He's lost his front wing in a similar place to the Williams, a lot worse off. Koru on the back of MX though, the battling has really allowed Koru to fill in the shoes of his teammate, and one Williams fails, another Williams comes through to have a go. Sumo also on the back of AP through the loop, the long left into the quick flick to the right. You have to be very careful under brakes to not lock the fronts, but you can gain a lot of time, and it's very satisfying when you hit it right, just right. The Ghost comfortably leads. He looks good to take the win of this one. DRS open for Sumo, who's not got a lot left in the battery. So too for MX, and the entirety of the top, second down to 5th, I'm not sure. Yeah, Ghost is absolutely fine, leading the way. Sam Patterson settled into P12, and he's on fresh soft compound tyres. Can he make any more of it? We're not particularly sure, but he had good pace, good promise. Maybe strategy just letting him down a little bit. He kept Ghost behind for a good few laps. Yes, definitely is the Wild West. Everyone coming to skirmishes at one point or another. Coming on to the penultimate lap 14 of 15. It's Ghost that leads from AP. Sumo rounds off the podium. MX and Corey, your top 5. Corey though looking to make it one better. He wants the top 4 in towards turn 1. You can see that closing speed under brakes. These fresh compound tyres should be able maybe even to propel him onto the podium. Gives MX a bit of a nudge, but he goes in deep anyway. He's going to run side by side towards turn 5, giving him the squeeze in towards turn 5. He's going to go around the outside. No, he's not. He's going to set up the cutback, try and get that good exit. It's going to have DRS. Bit of a scram on the exit. Well caught from the Williams. Has to quickly tuck back into the slipstream, and because of that hasn't been able to close the gap to MX, but a good effort, and definitely shows his pace. He's not got long to do it though. He needs to get into the top 4, then get a move on after the top 3 and of course the top 2 are Paus just in front. This is definitely a very close top 5. It's just a shame that Ghost is leading the way so comfortably out in front. He definitely hasn't flinched once. Been the quickest, was quickest in quali, been the most consistent today, and at the moment deserves to be leading the way by 5.5 seconds, and constantly growing is that gap. Paus is all aboard the Paus train at the moment. He leads Sumo in towards the next DRS zone, and again it's just about ERS management, deploying it at the right times. Can Corey go for an almighty send down the inside? No, he can't. Thinks better of it. It gets a good run off the corner, and again, it's just about being quick enough where it counts. On the exit of corners that prolong that are before long straights. MX with a lock-up though, the pressure definitely getting to him. We're approaching the final 21 corners off this race. The first of two. And towards the right-hand chicane. The final chicane, practically all over the rear end of MX, is Corey. Davila not far off either. If anything happens, he's going to pick up the pieces. Corey definitely putting the pressure on, pulling to the left-hand side. Is he going to be committed enough under brakes? He looks, can't quite get it up the inside. Paus with a second wind of pace, though, managing to open up that gap from Sumo. You can see Corey practically pushing the Alfa Romeo through, looking to the right-hand side in towards turn 5. Has he got the drive off the corner? He's alongside, but has to back out. He's got a long straight in towards turn number 8 if he wants to go for it. He's tucked up in the slipstream. MX definitely not much in the way of battery to defend. He has to defend. Here comes the Williams to the left-hand side. He's going to go for it. Under brakes. MX, bit of contact, and Corey's been sent round. Oh no, absolute calamity for the Williams. Saw an opportunity, went for it, and MX slammed the door shut and said, no, you're not coming through whatsoever. And Corey down to P7 behind his teammate once more. Davila being brought right back into this though. Paus still leads Sumo. Another DNF of Sam Patterson to make it 6. But Paus has held on brilliantly from Sumo and MX behind. Just hasn't let the pressure get to him. But it's not done yet. He still has half a lap left to go. That is 100% going to get looked at. DRS for the final time for Sumo. I don't think it's quite going to be able to be enough for him to get through. And towards the right hand, a bit of a lock up on the front right for the AlphaTauri. He just needs to, again, maybe bait Paus into a mistake. If it is going to be a mistake, it needs to come now and not from the AlphaTauri. He's going to be begging for a mistake, but it's still a podium. 2 in a row, I believe 3 in a row for Sumo, which is an incredible run of form and definitely got a lot of confidence. And that's going to be looking forward. I believe Jacalaco's gone round on the exit of a hairpin. Ghost, though, takes the win. Didn't even realise the fireworks are going to be shooting off into the sky because the Aston Martin takes yet another win of the Sprint Championship. AP comes home P2 with Sumo P3, MX P4, Davila P5, Aces P6. Heartbreak for Williams because it definitely could have been a lot more, at least a podium for one of them. If not Aces, it would have been Koru, and if not Koru, it would have been Aces. Vardy comes home P8. His championship bid is looking less and less unlikely with now only 5 races to go in this season. Front wing damage. If Paus hung on from that, I believe, a good half of the race with wing damage, and Sumo couldn't find a way through. He fought that valiantly. I didn't even realise he had front wing damage. You couldn't tell. He still had good pace. I don't think it's even visually... Oh no, it is. No, it's not. You can't even see it on the onboard. Yeah, and you still managed to hang on. Was quick enough where it counted and parked the bus as best you could. Yeah, it definitely does. You rely so much on the aerodynamic grip that the front wing and rear wing provide. We still got another race yet to go, guys. Don't forget, this grid is going to be reversed. Ghost will start P14. Of course, the DNFs and DSQs are going to have to start at the back of the grid anyway. But Ghost is going to start P14. That's 6 less cars for him to overtake, so he's going to be happy. I was inspired by the brick wall that is Sumo. Had to take notes. Definitely had to take notes. And that's where he gets the name from, for sure. He's a defending master. Really is Sumo. And P3, the defending master, couldn't turn into the attacking master to find a way through. But yeah, good results for Singapore for Paus then. Still waiting for Starry to cross the line. Yeah, 4th in the Tier 1 Championship after being a lap and a half down at one point and now 2nd in the sprint. Paus definitely not complaining one bit. Valiant drives. And the podiums are becoming a very much regular occurrence. Could have been a win. But Ghost just had the pace. Driver of the day goes to Davila. Have to agree, he definitely drove a great race from the back of the grid in towards podium contention. So too did Koru and Aces with the Aston Martin. Celebrates on the podium. A well-deserved victory for Ghost. He got through and then just went at all. And ahead of the reverse grid sprint race, 15 laps of the feature race has been completed. And it was the Aston Martin of Ghost that took the win with Paus and Sumo second and third. MX comes home P4, and that is definitely provisional. We got after contact with both Williams. Davila rounds off the top 5 with Aces versus Kings in P6. Corey P7 with Vardy P8. Hephaestus P9. Jackalacco rounds off the top 10. Takes fastest lap though, and an extra point going his way. Blair in P11. Not the race he'd have wanted today at all, but still brings home some decent points. Scott P12 with Starry P13. Yeah, Gamer rounds off those who did in fact finish. Sam Patterson 15th with Tier 16th. Patterson 17th. Telehammers P18. KTFO and Saki Ben, of course, DNFing on the first lap before the first corner. Both of them out. That brought out the first safety car. They'll start the sprint race from P19 and 20. Nervous last few laps, every big braking zone. Well, that's because without the aerodynamic grip, there's a lot of strain on those front tyres, and well, that's what causes the front lockups. Don't forget, guys, to be liking the stream up if you are enjoying. 0 likes as it stands at the moment. 11 people watching. Come on, guys, I appreciate the watch time, but get those likes up. We've got around about maybe a 3 or 4 minute break before the sprint race, while Dave, I believe, he is the host, and he will reset the grid. MX going to get a pen. Bold prediction from Lawson there. I mean, going into that corner, 2 into 1 always goes through there. That's one of the few overtaking opportunities of Singapore. In fact, I'm going to have a second look at it. Where was it? Probably a couple of laps forward from this point. Onto the... Was it the final lap? I believe it was. No, it was the penultimate lap, wasn't it? Ghost needed that, definitely. I mean, you're comfortably leading the championship still, so not at all a bad result today. Here it is. It was on the final lap. So going in, Corey had an incredible run. Pulls to the left-hand side, more than enough alongside, pretty much ahead going into the corner, practically. Under brakes, gets himself ahead. MX though, comes across, turns very early. And then as soon as there's contact, extends the track, and Corey was sent around. I definitely would say slam dunk for MX there at fault, but I'm not entirely sure. It'll be down to the stewards. They'll get the POVs, they'll get a better angle than I did. But from what I can see, I would definitely put a little bit more blame on MX than Corey there. Yeah, just need a bit of confidence, and sometimes that's all you need in order to do well. Mentality always half of the story in racing. You can be as quick as you like, but if you're not in the right mind space, you're not going to be doing particularly well. Shouldn't be too long until we get underway for the reverse grid race in Brazil. Won't be any formation lap again because of the reported glitch that is plaguing the F1 game at the moment. So it will pretty much just be load in on the grid and go. Very cold tyres. Will be incredibly cold tyres. So don't be one to start on the mediums if you want to get a good start, that's for sure. think we are now readying up, or that is just Sumo being an absolute wallop and spamming the ready up button. But I think we are ready to go. I didn't quite see it, but I noticed the spins. Here we go then, loading in. 18 laps of Sao Paulo, half distance, 25% race as always for the Sprint Championship, and we head to Interlagos, a track that again very much delivers when it comes to racing, both in real life and of course in the sim world. Every time we come to here in APPF1, it's a good race. At some point in the race distance, there's always a little bit of spurts of action. Whether that's, I mean, last time we were here, Speed Alcoholic just dominated with a strategy, made it very interesting. Wasn't the most particularly interesting in terms of on-track battle, but that strategy made it pretty good. And of course, we had Vardy and Ghost back in season 1 of the Sprint Championship go side by side, pretty much an entire lap to decide the race victory, and of course that was quite crucial for the championship. And a couple of times we've had incredible racing, and hopefully more of the same today. Fingers crossed. Looks to be quite overcast, shouldn't be wet. Hopefully it won't be wet and we can just have a dry race all the way through, keep it nice and simple, not add any extra spice. But I mean, changeable conditions halfway through could be something to look out for, could be quite interesting and could factor into the strategy. If there is rain forecasted, a lot of drivers we might see start on the medium tyre to get themselves to that wet spell. But we don't know, we never know. 5 seconds until the lights come on. A very short run towards turn number 1. Here we go then. Cars are revving up. 3 lights, 4 lights, 5 red lights for the Brazilian Grand Prix. The sprint race is underway, and it's a pretty good start from pole position for Gamer. A very short run towards turn 1. He covers off Scott with an incredible start, goes to the outside of Blair and towards turn 1. Can the Red Bull hang it all the way around? It's going to be the inside for turn 2. Bit of contact further back, 2 by 2, as Jackalacco gets himself into the top 4. Gamer leads from Blair, Scott and Jackalacco just behind. The Red Bull has to defend from the AlphaTauri as they come down towards turn number 4. The AlphaTauri looking to the left hand side. Is he going to send it on the brakes? They're pretty much 5 abreast towards the back side of the grid. What's going on here? Davala up into P8, Sumo P9, Ghost up 4, and he's running side by side, looking to the inside of Sumo, couldn't quite find a way through. The Alpine side by side with Patterson in towards the very hard, very fast, and Patterson's gone round. He's tapped the back of Ghost in towards turn number 6. He's gone round. He's having to put his way back onto the circuit. What an absolute stroke of calamity for the Alpine, running side by side with Hephaestus. Goes Koru in towards turn 11. The Alfa Romeo is going to come right back at him. The Williams can't quite hang it around the outside, pretty much bumper to bumper to bumper by his Sumo, Ghost, Sam Patterson and Taylor Hammers, as well as KTFO is going to look to the left hand side. Oh, a big snap of oversteer from the McLaren. He's into the wall and out of the session. A big crash as he goes through, and I don't think that's going to be a full course yellow. Should only be yellow flags. Here comes Corey to the right hand side of Hephaestus. Blair on the back of Gamer now for the fight for the race lead. This is P6 we're seeing to the right hand side. The Williams going to dance it all the way around the outside. No, he's going to tuck in. We jump to the front because Blair's running side by side with the Ferrari. Scott also wants a slice of the cake. He's going to try and come through very shortly. But Blair, is he close enough to go for the move in towards turn number 4? No, he's going to have to sit back. You can see practically pushing him all the way through. Goes off the track. He's spun round. He's into the wall. He's out of the Brazilian Grand Prix. Jackalacco running side by side with Scott up the hill towards turn 6. And a virtual safety car has been brought out with 3 drivers in the pit lane. Tier, MX and Aces all out. All in the pit lane. 2 drivers already out on lap 2 of 18. A very chaotic start here in Interlagos, but still Gamer leads from Scott. A good start, definitely a very strong start indeed, but an even stronger one from KTFO, up 9. Definitely a much better first lap than he had in Singapore. One inside the top 10 from last. Only 19 drivers. I think we've lost someone. Who have we lost? I think we've lost, no we haven't. I'm not entirely sure we've lost. But yeah, good starts from the front runners. apart from Pals and Vardy. They're down 6 and 1 respectively. That was a very bad start for them. A very chaotic start overall. Here comes Scott into the pit lane though. Is he going for medium tyres? Is he going to the end of the race? We go green very quickly because there's only a VSC. Here's Sumo looking to the left hand side. Here's Ghost looking to the left hand side. Here he goes down the inside. They're going to run side by side through turn 2. The AlphaTauri hangs on. This is Taylor Hammers looking to get past KTFO, but Sumo leads the train. KTFO is looking to put the pressure on the Aston Martin. DRS open as they go down towards turn number 4. Can the McLaren try and find a way through? No, single file as they negotiate turn 4. Kourou up into the top 3, gets himself past the Faceless, who's going to try and come back at him though up the hill, backs out of that manoeuvre. KTFO can't find a way through. Taylor Hammers trying to make amends for Singapore and get himself amongst the mix inside the very quick guys. KTFO, Ghost, Sumo and Davila just in front of him. If he can get in the mix here, he can definitely get in the mix everywhere. Looking to the right hand side of turn 11 again, just can't find a way through. Jackalacco gets past Gamer because he's got a bit of a spin. He rejoins the circuit just ahead of Davila. He's going to try and find his way through. Gamer going to the inside, opens the door for Davila to have a little look at Faces though. Around the outside, tries to keep his foot in, and still going to be side by side as they go through the final corner. Opens the gap up for Davila to maybe go 2 in 1. It's going to be a tight squeeze, has to back out of it, get himself on the brakes. Side by side goes to Faces. He's on the right hand side. 4 cars, 2 by 2 they go. Davila trying to find the space, darts to the inside. The Ferrari covers it off, under brakes. He gets the move done. Sumo though tries to find a way through. He gets himself into the top 4, and now with DRS can maybe get himself into the top 3. What a start from Sumo. Gamer really spicing things up in this because he's settled in right in the middle of this train. KTFO going side by side with the championship leader in towards turn 4. Can't quite go around the outside. He's going to try and go underneath him though instead. Ghost still gets a good enough drive. Davila side by side with Gamer up the hill towards turn 6. Davila ahead, but Gamer's going to come back at him under brakes. Side by side with the Alpine as they go through. He's got a massive slap of oversteer, and he's collected the Alpine and the McLaren too, who goes straight on at turn number 7, and he's gone round and he's backwards into the wall. What a calamity start to this race. Lap 4 of 18. Taylor Hammers around the outside of Ghost, who can't find a way through. He's definitely quick. Taylor Hammers sends up the inside of Davila, who says no, you're not coming through, and side by side Davila around the outside again through the fast left-hander of turn 12. That's going to open the door maybe for Ghost to find a way through. No, it's going to open the door for Patterson to send his way through. He goes underneath the pair of them and gets 2 cars in 1 and up into P7. This is an incredible start to this race, I must say. Taylor Hammers on the back of Gamer, who comes into the pit lane following some damage in that skirmish, and I do not blame him one bit. Ghost just caught up. He's on the mediums, which could explain the fact that maybe there could be some rain. But a very strange start. Davila also comes in. He got collected by the Ferrari, remember. AP on the back of Vardy for P8, DRS open for the Alpine. It should be a pretty plain sailing move because it's soft versus medium. Vardy under pressure. Palps though doesn't go for the move. Jackalacco leads from Kourou, who made a pretty good start. Up into P2. We'll have a quick look at the position changes at the moment. Kourou up 6, Sumo up 9, Taylor up 13, Patterson as well up 11. Very commendable starts from a lot of people today. We go back to Ghost though, who's on the back of Patterson, the championship leader, trying to make some more moves. Still going to be extending his championship lead as it stands to Vardy. But Kourou and Jackalacco, when it comes to the reverse grid races, the AlphaTauris are in an impeccable force. They are almost unmatchable. You just saw Sumo sliced his way through that battle, picked his way through, was very patient, found the gap, went for it, stayed committed, and it paid off, and he's up into P3. Managed to avoid the whole well, massacre that was Gamer rejoining the circuit. AP on the back of Vardy in towards turn 1. Vardy definitely under pressure. He's going to have to defend, so here comes Palf to the right hand side. Brakes late enough on those soft tyres. Shouldn't be too difficult for him to claim the corner and towards turn 2. And Vardy tries his best to defend, but Palf sails around the outside and hangs on. Ghost though on the back of Patterson. Is it enough? He's closing to the left hand side in towards turn 4. Under brakes, says thank you very much, but Patterson around the outside hangs on, keeps the foot in. Very nicely done from the Mercedes to hang on to P6. But the more they fight, the more time they lose to Taylor Hammers in front for the top 5. Never ever a dull moment here. Kourou is gaining. He's under a second now as Patterson goes in deep towards turn number 8. Oh, KTFO's gone round again. He's out of the session. Taylor Hammers is out of this session properly though. Officially a DNF, and a safety car has been brought out to this race. Jackalacco and Kourou will lead. What are these guys going to do? Are they going to come in for mediums? Is Ghost going to come in for softs? Can softs go to the end? This is an awkward predicament for those that did start on the mediums. Clear skies now coming through. Jackalacco and Kourou both in. No, yeah, Gamer. Oh, Jackalacko, a 5-second penalty. Corey slams on the anchors to not get a penalty. Sumo also in. They're going to have to double stack at AlphaTauri, though. This could be costly. This could be very costly indeed. Has he got the gap in order to double stack without losing any time? Pretty much the entirety of the top 8. Hephaestus has stopped as he goes in. He's lost a couple of places here. Sumo, I think Sumo's going to lose out. He lost out a little bit of time, definitely. Corey rejoins in P2. Jackalacko gets out ahead. Sumo P3, Hephaestus coming in P4. Paus, though, a new fresh set of mediums, goes onto the softs. He's confident they can go to the end. Confident indeed, as Vardy has to double stack. That's the thing with safety cars, teammates having to double stack, and a lot of people staying up. This could be a very shaken up grid. This is Starry into the top 4 of this race. Yeah, Gamer has decided to retire from the session after doing so well from pole. That's now 4 retirements in 7 laps. That's an average about 1 retirement every 2 laps. Ghost comes out P9 though on the softs. He's heading the soft compound tyre train though, ahead of Scott, Vardy, Aces, MX and Davila, as well as KTFO, who is still in this race. Unfortunately had a couple of spins that cost him dearly, but other than that has driven pretty well. Through the right-hander, that is turn 11, turn 10, one of the two. Guru just behind in P2. He's going to want to get a really good start off the restart. Try and take the lead and go for his first win at APPF1. He's had the pace all the way ever since he joined APPF1 a couple of weeks ago. Hasn't actually been that long. I think just over a month, or just under a month, I should say. He's been here, he's had the pace, he's come in strong with confidence, but just either hasn't had the luck or hasn't had the consistency to convert. He's had pole position, he's been leading races, and he's looked comfortable to lead races. But at some point it all just snaps and goes wrong for him. So he's looking to put rights to his wrongs and maybe break the curse. But Sumo and AlphaTauri 1-3. AlphaTauri, a very strong force, especially over the last couple of races. They've been really good, and I think they are in direct contention with the Aston Martins for the Sprint Constructors title. I'll have a quick double check now before we go green. The standings, and yeah, AlphaTauri and Aston Martin, 186 for Aston Martin, 163 for AlphaTauri, Alpine third, and every Constructors champion we've had outside of the top 3. Williams 4th, Red Bull 7th, and for Ferrari P10. So very shaken up. We're probably going to have a new champion when it comes to the Constructors, as we've had with every season of the Sprint Championship. We've had a new constructor win every season, we've had a new driver win every season. Is that going to come to an end this time around though? We'll have to see. Because Ghost looks comfortable in his position, and also Aston Martin look comfortable in their position as well. AlphaTauri though, bringing in some good points. They're going to make an indent in the Aston Martins as it stands. Still a long way to go. Safety car in this lap. Jackalacko is going to control the field then when we go to green flag racing once more. He's going to want to leave it very late. Does not want to get slipstreamed all the way down towards turn 1. He needs to wait, of course, for the safety car, but you can see left to right, warming those tyres up. Does not want to let any advantage swing in the way of Koru, who really wants to get going. It's going to be a short run. He's bolted it. We're back on the green flag racing. He's caught Koru out slightly here. Starry, though, with an incredible restart all over the back of Sumo as we come towards turn 1 for lap 9. Sumo looking in his mirror. Starry, though, doesn't go for it. This is Patterson trying to get past Palps. In fact, Palps getting past Patterson into the top 6. Gets a bit of a slide, though, does Patterson. That's going to invite Tim maybe to have a look. This is Koru going maybe for a bit of a sideways motion. Sumo, though, up the inside into P2. Koru looking to the left-hand side, looking to counter-attack in towards turn 4. Late under brakes, not quite late enough. Sumo goes all the way around the outside, and maybe Starry with some backwards momentum can get the switcheroo, get that better exit up the hill. Doesn't quite look like he's going to be able to. Patterson on the back of Hephaestus as Paus managed to get himself into the top 5. But Jackalacko leads pretty comfortably, heads the AlphaTauri at 1-2. Corey dropped down to 3rd. It's just as easy to lose as it is to gain. Vardy up into P11, having a bit of a skirmish with the Aces, maybe running side by side. Indeed they are, through turn 9 and towards turn number 10. This is the Aston Martin down the inside. The Williams, though, going to hang it in, keep his foot in over the curb, gets a bit of a square, manages to catch it. And we go back. This is Ghost on the back of the Mercedes, pretty much an entire train, a Congo line, as Patterson completely nudges Hephaestus off the track, slams into the rear end of him, promotes them both up a place. This is Palvs on the back of Starry, looking to the left hand side. There's a bit of a gap, he fills it. Starry gives him the space as they go through turn 1. That's Tier out of the session as well, under brakes. Can Palvs brake late enough? No, he can't. Another safety car is in effect because we've had a huge crash on the main straight, and we can't see it because KTFO is a lap down, but it seemed though Tier, Vardy and Patterson had a big crash. You can see the Aston Martin and the Mercedes pretty much on top of each other, as well as the Haas on the main straight. We're gonna have to have a look at that to see. I'll go on board with Patterson's stream if he's streaming it on YouTube. I'll have a quick look to see the onboard of that, because that was a big old crash. One moment. Here it is, let's have a look. Seems to have only just started the stream, unless it's loading. I'll have a quick look and update you halfway through, and already a good almost half of the grid is out. We're down to just 12 runners, 8 drivers out of this race then, or 7, with KTFO a lap down and I believe an AI maybe. I think it's my phone Wi-Fi messing up. This is Jack Lacka though into the pit lane to serve his 5-second penalty. Sumo's going to inherit the race lead with Corey just behind. He's going to get a second chance to go for the move. Palvs up into P4, goes to P5. Starry on to the podium. Still, no, he's pit. He's pit. He can go to the end on those mediums. So he's in an actual genuine P3. This could be good for Starry, who's trying to get past on KTFO, who is lapped down, but will still be in the way of Starry. It's going to be an extra car's width that he needs to make up on Corey, which is not going to be particularly welcomed by Starry if he wants to go forwards in this race, but I'm sure he's going to be fine with just staying where he is. P3 is a good result for the Australian. I can't seem to find Patterson's stream to be working well. I'll have a look on Twitch to see if he is still streaming over on there. Was it in this stream? Have a look. Dude, it was. Let's have a look. Off the restart. Okay. Much towards the end. I'm having a quick look. Safety car in this lap though, so I haven't got long to look. I'll have a quick look in just a moment. Sumo controls the pace, moving around left and right, really backing Corey up. You can see controlling the pace at around about 70 miles an hour. The safety car, Bird Mylander, will pull his way into the pit lane, then Sumo can punch it between now and the timing line. When is he going to do that though? When is he going to go? He's weaving around, he's waiting very late, does not want to be slipstream. Corey's going to have to react very well and does so. We're back under green. Starry gets a pretty good restart, so too does Palvs and Ghost as we come towards turn number 1. Ghost to the left hand side of Palvs in towards turn 1. The Aston Martin on the inside. Is the Alpine going to go all the way around? No, he's not. His teammate, in fact, down in P9. So Palvs find the flag and a big crash. Palvs is into the wall. He's got sideways, he's in the barrier, and he's pretty much almost out of this race. He's lucky the suspension didn't get damaged. Goes down to P5, he's getting swamped by Aces. He's going to go all the way around the outside of Starry through turn number 4. He's got a bit of wheel banging between the two. Starry not giving an inch. Oh no, they've come together. Another big crash. Starry and Aces both out of this race. And Palvs going very slowly indeed down this back straight. What a chaotic restart. Starry just not giving an absolute, just not giving an inch, not giving anything. Neither was Aces. And into that corner, it just tapped wheels, bounced off each other, and in they went to the barrier. Down to now just just 9 drivers. Well, around about 8 because I believe KTFO is not actually racing. No, he's not. He's in AI. So Scott on the back of Ghost who inherits P3. He's been given I believe a 5-second penalty. Indeed, it is a 5-second penalty. So too is MX. So it's a straight fight between Sumo and Koru for the top 2. A lot of stewards incidents, I believe, going their way today. Would not be surprised one bit Corey just within that 1 second DRS range that he's going to get in about a lap's time. Just riding on board with Patterson. Have a quick look at how it's going. Davila though on the back of MX, 2/10 between the two. Looking to the left hand side, just trying to pick his braking marker just after the 100 ball, just before the 50 is where you want to be braking. Jack Alacco looking to make amends after his penalty and his failure to get stopped for the pit lane. He's gone onto the medium tyres and is going to the end, provided no extra safety cars in this race. Ghost onto the back of the top two, could in fact still be looking good for a race win, apart from that 5 second penalty that's going to be holding him back. And what happened? I'm genuinely confused as to what happened with Patterson. I'll have a proper look in a second. I can't quite concentrate on it at the moment. But Ghost on the back of Corey. We're going to round off lap 13 onto 14. House into the pit lane, unsurprisingly so. 3:10 separate Ghost and Corey. He's going to want to extend his legs in the championship, especially because his teammate is out, and that's really going to help AlphaTauri's legs in the constructors. To the right hand side though goes Ghost on Koru. Can the Williams send it under brakes? No, he can't. The soft compound tyres of the Aston Martin. In fact, Koru does come back at him though, sees a gap, takes it. He's going to have the drag reduction system. No, he's not, because Ghost is going to have it. Sumo just in front. Ghost gets the DRS off Sumo. Koru is going to have the DRS on Ghost, and he doesn't have enough straight line speed to close the gap in towards turn number 4. This is MX getting passed by Davila down into P6. So Davila driving well and trying to get himself on the back of the top 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 all within DRS of each other. In fact, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 all within DRS of each other, and then a big gap back to 8th, 9th and 10th. Koru, a 3 second penalty for multiple warnings, so it swung back into the favour of Ghost, who now only needs to pull 2 seconds on Koru to keep that position. But Scott, Davila, MX all in the wings waiting to pick up the pieces. With DRS enabled, Sumo's going to need to keep his wits about him, stay patient, stay composed, and hang on to that race win, because he's going to want to have 2 wins in 2 weeks and keep that podium streak up, because he's doing an incredible job of it. This is Scott getting past Corey, who again just hasn't got the straight line speed. The reigning champion blitzes past into the top 3, and without a penalty can definitely set his sights forward. So too can Davila look into the left hand side, not quite going to be able to go for it. A second now between Ghost and Scott as they go through turn 3. Sumo ahead of Ghost. The soft compound tyres propelling Ghost towards the back of that AlphaTauri, but they are going to go off eventually. This is Davila closing on the Williams to the left hand side. Can't quite brake late enough. Going to try and go for it up the hill towards turn 6. So too is Ghost. Can't quite be able to do that. Corey having to defend. Bit of contact to the rear diffuser for Davila, who's going to look to the right hand side. Can't quite send. Doesn't see the gap, so he's going to have to back out and try and set up that move. Now less than a second separate the top 3, with KTFO actually could be helping Sumo out quite a lot here. He's got a bit of a squirm off the exit of turn 9 into 10, but KTFO is going to give him that DRS, that drag reduction system, back down towards turn 1, and that could be his saving grace in staying ahead of Ghost. Palps a 1:08.564 for the fastest lap. He's in P9, 19 seconds off the back of the pack, but at least he's getting an extra point for fastest lap. This is now Ghost, who's going to try and line up the move for the race lead. Lap 15 of 18, going on 16. On those soft tyres, Sumo has DRS, so too does Ghost. He defends to the inside, does the AlphaTauri. To the outside goes Ghost. Can he dance that car all the way around the outside? He's going to try the AlphaTauri the inside. It's the inside for turn 2 for Ghost. Sumo, though, still around the outside to hang on to that race lead. Scott looking in the wings, waiting for that gap to open up. Here comes Ghost, though. He's going to come back at him, though, on the run in towards turn 4. It's the inside. The AlphaTauri, can he go all the way around the outside? He's going to try, but not quite. Ghost claims the corner, and Scott's going to try and look for the open gap on Sumo. The inside of turn 5, can't quite. Sumo low on ERS, that battery deployment. Ghost takes the lead and needs to run away with it now for the final 3 laps. 5 seconds he needs in 3 laps. 1.2 seconds roughly he's going to need in order to claim this race victory. Can he do it? That is the question. Sumo put up a valiant effort to defend. He's still going to have that DRS if he wants to launch the counter attack, but he's not got a lot in the battery. Neither does Ghost, but Scott has an insane amount in that battery, ready to deploy at moment's notice to try and blitz past the pair of them. 7/10 between the 2 race leaders. Can Sumo close that gap? This is Davila getting past Scott, who goes in deep to the final corner. He's going to be running side by side with MX as well. Scott's made a bit of an uncharacteristic mistake. He's now off the podium. He's lost 2 places, and he's running side by side with MX towards turn number 1. The Red Bull on the outside. Can it be enough? He's going to try and get back at the Alpine, but not quite going to be able to. MX still on the inside, has to back out. Sumo on the back of Ghost. but he's lost quite a hefty bit of time. Scott's going to try and get past the Alpine. He's going to use DRS, he's going to use his ERS. He's closing Davila vulnerable because of that flashing red light to the left hand side. Goes the Red Bull back onto the podium places, but the Alpine's going to try and stick it. Scott claims the corner. Davila's going to come back at him, has to back out, and the door shuts very quickly. MXP5 with a penalty. He's on the back of P3 and 4 in towards turn number 8. Soon to be 9. Sumo 8 tenths behind on Ghost, who's going to have the DRS from KTFO, who's still under blue flags, won't move out of the way, won't budge as we're on the penultimate lap of this race. This is looking good for Sumo to seal the deal and take the win. He just needs to stay composed, stay within 5 seconds. Whether that gets removed for Ghost is a different story. Sumo's going to want to get it on track just in case. 8 tenths, not a lot of ERS. DRS for Ghost as well is not going to help him particularly as KTFO comes into the pit lane. We're now onto the final lap, lap 18 of 18, and there's another change for the podium places between Scott and Davila. Davila gets ahead. MX wants to slice the cake as well. He's going to send it under brakes on Scott. There's contact between them, and MX has been sent round. He's tumbling down the order as P5 for Jakalako, up into P6 for Koru, who again, I believe, didn't have the best of restarts and got sent round at some point. Scott on the back of Davila, going to try and come back at him into towards turn 4. He's going to have the DRS towards the line. Lap 18 of 18. Ghost leads from Sumo, Davila, Scott, Jakalaka, your top 5 with Corey P6. Emmett's been spun round to P7, who faces P8, Paus P9, and KTFO unable to complete the majority of this race in AI. He's down in P10. 4 tenths between the podium places, 1.4 seconds between Ghost and Sumo, 5 seconds penalty for Ghost. Whether that is going to stand is a different story, as I say, but at the moment Sumo will provisionally take the race win. We go through the final sequence of corners for the final time. Davila just needs to stay ahead, needs a good enough launch. That's exactly what he's got. Scott's going to throw everything at him. KTFO is retired from this session. Scott's trying, he's got the DRS, but across the line Ghost, an absolute masterclass from the back of the grid, wins on track, but Sumo takes the victory after penalties. Davila into P2 after penalties. Ghost is tumbling down the order into P5, Davila P2, Scott P3, and Jakalako into P4, Corey P6, Emmet P7. The faceless a few moments later will cross the line P8. What a race that was. Very chaotic, a lot of DNFs, but a lot of action as well. A lot of clean action. Now I'm going to take a second look at Patterson. So we tapped the back of Hephaestus, went wide, got wing damage, and I think wanted to come into the pit lane. But Ghost is all over the back of him though. Ghost gets through, and he tries to come in, but it just catches everyone out because he's past the pit entry line. And apologies for any vulgar language there, but I don't think Patterson has anyone else to blame but himself for that one. Ghost, of course, up the inside. But Patterson was well past the pit entry line and should have waited to come in. Just tagged the rear end of Vardy, and I believe it was Tier as well, or Starry, and all of them went into the wall. That was a shame. A big crash indeed. But after 18 laps, that was a Brazilian Grand Prix. That was a very intense Brazilian Grand Prix, to say the least. But it was drawn to a close. Very chaotic. Wild West again. Wacky races. Of course, Moosey and Grandad Bonkers. After 18 laps, not many finished. Only 9 did. But of those 9, it was Sumo. His 4th podium in 4 races. His 2nd win in 4 races. He started 12th on the grid. He comes home to provisionally win the Brazilian Grand Prix. Davila P2. Scott rounds off the podium on his one-time appearance in the Sprint Championship. Can't be complaining with that one. Jack Arco brings home good points for AlphaTauri for the Constructors' Championship, especially with Vardy out of the race and scoring none. Ghost P5 will still extend his championship lead though. Corey P6, MX P7, Hephaestus P8 with Paus P9, and KTFO still classified but officially did DNF. Starry P11, Aces P12, Patterson P13 with Vardy 14th, Tier 15th with Gamer 16th, Taylor Hammers P17, Blair in P18 with Patterson rounding off the grid, the first to DNF down in P19. Well, ladies and gentlemen, I hope you enjoyed that as much as I did. There was 2 cracking races, and as I said in the intro, Sao Paulo was one to remember. That was round 4 of the Sprint Championship. I'll see you in a week's time where we continue this crazy championship We're now in the closing stages, so the drivers cannot take their foot off the gas pedal. Ghost can definitely not get complacent. Neither can Aston Martin or AlphaTauri for their bid for the constructors. Definitely still a lot to prove. Definitely still a lot to come for the Sprint Championship. So I'll see you next time, guys. Have an absolutely incredible evening, and I'll see you in a week's time. Bye bye.